Is Ryan Stone. He is down on Hollywood Beach, you were saying, right, which is outside of Miami. Give us a little look around and tell us kind of where you are and why you're there right now.
Yeah, I actually am on Hollywood Beach on the boardwalk here, or the Broadwalk, and you can see behind me here, I think everything's pretty well boarded up. Most people have gone ahead and gotten out of town. The parking lots are very empty, and everybody's been preparing for Irma to get here, I guess, in the next 48 hours or a little bit less than that.
Yeah, it looks like it. So you do you live in this area? Did you run down to the beach? Are you right there?
I actually live about a mile off the beach in Dania Beach.
Okay.
And I was originally going to go out there near the Dania Beach Pier and was unable to get there as they have the entire parking lot, keep people from going out to the water. So I came one town south here down to Hollywood, which is just 2 towns south of Fort Lauderdale.
I'm going to show you guys the map. I mean, it's a little small. In the corner of your screen, you can sort of see that red point. That's where he is, Hollywood Beach, just north there of Miami. And it looks like you're going to be right there in the thick of it, right? So you're staying around.
Yeah, we're going to stay in the area. I'm actually, everyone in Broward County east of US 1 is under a mandatory evacuation. So our plan is tomorrow morning, we're going to go inland. We have 2 plans, a friend who has a house with a newer roof and the hurricane windows. And then our backup plan is to go to one of the shelters here in Broward County that they've opened up.
So what is that like? They've opened up these, I haven't actually really heard the details. They've opened up sort of safe, boarded up shelters that people can go to if they're stuck, or?
Yeah, they have a lot of shelters opened. I believe, I couldn't give you an exact number. I think it's at least 10 of them. I know one of them had already filled up, and it's in a lot of them are in the schools, the newer buildings that are rated for the hurricanes and able to sustain those winds. And they, the unfortunate part about going to those is they tell you got to bring everything you need. So there's no beds provided. You bring blankets and pillows and everything you need to kind of hunker down and ride the storm out.
Wow, that's awesome. So give me a look around. Are there people on this beach? Is anyone around, or?
Yeah, we've got, I think you can see back there a few people. Let's see here. Not too many are actually out on the beach. It already started getting a little windy.
It looks like it, yeah.
So we've got it was, yesterday was very calm, beautiful sunny day. People were at the pool at our condo. And today you can kind of see here, I believe the waves are starting to kick up a little bit. The Atlantic's going, the wind's blowing a little harder, and we're starting to anticipate getting some of those first feeder bands. I was watching the local coverage just about an hour ago, and they said that we're going to start seeing some of those bands come through today. Nothing with hurricane force winds, just mainly fast moving rainstorms, but we ought to start feeling those later on today.
Wow, that's a really great description of everything. It looks like there are some people, which is interesting. And like we were talking about earlier this morning, the storm surge is sort of coming with the high waves and the wind. So Ryan, did you consider leaving for this, or were you always going to kind of just stay? I mean, obviously people have personal reasons they have to stay around, but what was your thought on that?
Oh. Tomorrow morning. So given that, we decided the better choice, the more responsible choice was going to be to make a plan to stay down here, go ahead and evacuate out of the mandatory evacuation zone and get into a safe building and ride the storm out down here rather than get on the roads. But I got to say the elected officials down here, the government down here, really did a good job of issuing those evacuation orders early. They got the keys cleared out real fast. Broward issued earlier than the hurricane watch was issued, and just really started to get people out and going. I've got quite a few friends who hit the interstates in the past few days here, and they've gone up to Georgia and Tennessee and Carolinas to get out of the way.
Yeah, definitely. And we're going to bring you guys some of that video, too, of the public officials who are issuing those mandatory evacuations and talking about updates for the county as well. But tell me also on a personal note, when you walk around, when you see the grocery stores and stuff, what is that like? Are they pretty crazy, or are they empty, or?
Yeah, the shelves at the groceries are empty, and they're actually closing most of the grocery stores today around noon in Miami-Dade and Broward County, so that those folks can get their plans taken care of. But the shelves have been going empty for about at least 2 days here. Really and truly, Tuesday we started seeing the lines at the pumps. I filled up with gas on Tuesday, and it took me about 20 minutes to get through the lines.
Wow.
So we've seen everybody really grabbing a lot of gas and getting stocked up on their water, and the bread aisles are all empty.
Oh my goodness.
So yeah, the officials are instructing everybody to, if you can't buy the bottled water at the store, to take the containers, fill them up, freeze the water in plastic bags, do those sorts of precautions so that if and when we do lose power, we're still able to have the ice and the water and everything.
Yeah. So are you prepped for losing power? I mean, do you have everything kind of in place? I know you have a sort of a game plan and a possible backup plan.
We're as prepared as you can be, I think. Our friend's house that we to has a generator hooked up to the house, so we'll be prepared in that respect. And then as far as getting the house ready, our house, unfortunately, if the storm surge comes in anywhere in that 6 to 10 foot range, we're on the first floor of our condo, and we're at risk of severe flooding there. So we're just preparing everything as though we're going to have the worst and kind of hope for the best.
Wow. So you're on the first floor of a condo. So what is sort of the first step? What do you even do? Do you grab important items? What do you...
We've the past couple of days here, we've been gathering all our items: the passports, IDs, birth certificates, those sorts of things, car insurance paperwork, title work. Tomorrow morning when we leave the house, we're going to bring the computers and everything with us inland. And other than that, at best, we are going to put stuff up on the kitchen counters as high as they can go and in rooms, and kind of hope that most of it survives, but we'll just kind of have to see what happens.
Are you guys sort of bracing for maybe self-service going out? I mean, you're looking really clear here and it's coming in well, but what about that? Have you kind of thought about that?
Yeah, actually, I know I've downloaded, and a lot of my friends have, there's an app called Zello we've been told about.
Okay.
And we tested it out. It turns the phone into kind of a walkie-talkie. And I believe it requires at least a Wi-Fi signal to work, which Xfinity, the local cable provider, has opened up their hotspots for the state of Florida for free. So everybody will have access to their hotspots as long as they're up. So, kind of fingers crossed that hopefully we don't lose cell service. And if we do lose cell service, that those hotspots are able to get us online, keep us in touch with loved ones. That's
really, really cool. I hadn't heard about that new sort of digital aspect of it. So you were mentioning getting gas and stuff. I think the governor yesterday or someone was saying, talking about really conserving the gas that you pump because other people may be in need of it. Have you witnessed any of that at the gas stations, or?
I can only speak to when I was there, and I know.
I know.
Right. As far as I full tank of gas in there, and made sure my car was filled up, and that was all we did. So
okay, so you filled it up.
And, yeah, we filled it up, and with us not evacuating, we want to make sure, because we don't know how long it'll be after the storm until we're able to get those sorts of services.
Yeah, so our Skype is a little spotty, but it's actually pretty good for such a major storm that's coming through there, so it's pretty awesome. Can you give us another look around? Looks like there's some people kind of going by.
Yeah, absolutely. You can see we've got some locals here who I'm guessing are probably all prepared, and that's the biggest thing. A lot of us have already gone ahead and completed all our preparations, and we're just fixing up some last minute things, and now it's just a waiting game.
Right, right. So there are some words out there and some memes that are talking about Floridians being super staunch in staying and they're going to stick around. Is that sort of the consensus down there? Is that what you guys are like?
No, I wouldn't think so. I kind of described this one. Usually the Category 1 or 2 hurricane, although they are serious events, I'd never really think about evacuating. anything above a 4, and in this case a 5, certainly I think most Floridians will tell you evacuation is the preference. And if it's not available to us, well, then you just face the situation. But I got to think, and as you can see with the boardwalk, the business owners down here, they're not messing around. They went ahead and boarded up yesterday and shut down their businesses and made sure they got their employees taken care of. So I think everybody's taking this very seriously, and anybody who was able and capable and had the time to be able to evacuate on time, they all hit the road and did that. And those of us who did not, I think you're seeing the coastal regions, the ones who are under the mandatory evacuation order to get off the coast, everybody seems to be heeding that pretty well.
That's awesome. Well, you've been in this area for a long time. You know the area. You've been through some storms, I'm sure, but probably not as severe as this one, right?
I was not in South Florida for Andrew. I lived in the Tampa area for most of my life. I've been through a few hurricanes down here, but definitely nothing of this magnitude.
So do you have any sort of trepidation with what's going to happen? Are you a little nervous or no?
Definitely nervous, but you got to, at some point, you just come to the realization that you've done everything you can to prepare. And it's just a matter of, okay, which exact track will the storm take? Where is it going to go through? Because the eye wall ranges from anywhere from 25 to 50 miles out with the hurricane force winds. So whatever path that goes along is going to be pretty rough. Then we got to worry about the storm surge and see where that comes. And you just got to kind of trust the process and hope for the best.
Yeah. So I just put up the map. We were looking at it earlier with Caitlin on where it's going, and we're kind of watching it, and we'll be keeping on this coverage throughout the weekend. But Ryan, thanks so much for the bird's eye view. This is really cool to see. It looks like the wind is picking up, but it's not too crazy just yet, right?
No, nothing too crazy yet. A normal, pretty nice South Florida day with a little bit of and it's just we all know what's coming. Normally the beach would be really packed right now if this hurricane wasn't on the way.
Yeah, and you guys are seeing the pinned website right below this stream if you want to check in for more details. We're keeping that coverage going, keeping our web story updated as much as possible. And this is Ryan Stone live in Hollywood Beach, Florida, which is just north of Miami. And you guys are going to get a lot of this storm, so you are bracing yourselves for it.
Definitely are.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Ryan, for checking in, and good luck. Godspeed.
Thank you. Appreciate it.